Hey Richard, thanks for sending pictures. That beautiful home. Yeah, I mean this could look so good with the stonework and the landscaping you've done. It'd be awesome. Really, I think for most of this project, you're looking at three types of lights. You're looking at some up lights or some accent lights, some path and garden lights, and then you probably want to mix in some wash lights, and I'll quickly explain why. So on an area like this, beautiful stonework, what I would probably do, because it's a little bit wider of an area, you could do two things. You could do a wash light kind of at the base, maybe 12 to 18 inches back, that shine up the top and is going to really accent these areas here. And then what I would probably do is put some accent lights, which are a little narrower beam, kind of in the middle of the windows here, that would light up this area. So that would look really good. Or the other option is just with accent lights, same thing, up the side of the windows here, and then some accent lights that kind of shine up almost at an angle here on both sides, because it's going to get a little bit further to the peak, whereas the wash light is more just going to put some frosted light on here. It's a wider angle light, so that would look really good too. Personally, I think I like the idea of shining it kind of at an angle so you can really get the light up to the peak there. Along the side of the house, I probably wouldn't put too much in here other than using some path lights in here just to kind of highlight and accent some different areas. So, maybe a path light, a path light, a path light, and really just stagger them out. If you have any, let me see here, if there's any good other pictures of that front area. What I would do is, like I said, over here I would probably stick to that same concept. I think this is a different area, but because it's going to be tough to get the light right to the peak here, if you're really ambitious, you could always look at actually gutter mounting a wash light up here that would cover this area. Would look amazing if you don't mind doing that. You would just kind of have to hide and snake the wire up the eaves trough or the gutter, and then you could do that very easily. But same thing, some accent lights on these features, and then some accent lights on that wall would look amazing. I would for sure get some accent lights kind of back a little bit that shine up on these beautiful beams, and as that light climbs up there, it's going to spread a little bit too, so it covers this area. And then same thing, you don't want it right in the windows, but I would probably try and again accent the wall here with some accent lights, or using a larger wash light that's going to have a wider spread. It just won't be as intense at the top here, which is okay, because even with that wash light that I talked about, this guy here, it's still going to do a really good job because this isn't super high. One wash light in here would probably actually do this whole area. And then staggering some path lights, you'd obviously have to go under the sidewalk, but I think if you staggered some path lights from side to side, would look really good, and even going around this front area here. And then if we keep going around, just such nice areas. And sticking to that theme with the accent lights and the wash lights or the accent lights, whichever you prefer. And then just a few path lights around some of the walkways. I would probably spread them a good 12 to 15 feet apart at least. I wouldn't worry too much about highlighting this tree, just because it is going to be a little bit difficult. Just the way I'm guessing this is like a big cedar tree here. Just the way the tree kind of grows away the light, you really have to get it far enough back to make it look good. And you probably could this way, but you'd have trouble getting it at another angle. So I would probably focus more on this, some path lights, and then a tree like this, I would have an accent light from whichever way you want to view it. If you want to view it from the street side, then obviously put it on the other side, kind of right at the base of the tree, about 12 to 18 inches back, right up the stem. And that's going to create some nice light. Or if you want to have it seen more from this side, then I would do it from this side. Or the tree is big enough that you could actually do it from both sides, so it looks good from both sides, whether you're looking at it from the street or from the yard. And yeah, I love this archway, and I would definitely try and get some accent lights up here, even if you got to move them back from the concrete a bit and kind of have them angled a bit to try and catch as much of this as possible. I think would look really, really good. And then this tree, I would have, this would be one, this would be a beautiful tree to accent. And the way I would probably do it is have an accent light at the base that kind of shines up the middle. And then I would try and get two further back a little bit more, not so much even into the canopy as into the branching structures here. Would look really amazing. And I mean, you have lots of big, beautiful trees that you could do that with. And I would always try and highlight the trunk and the branching structure more so than the actual leaves and the foliage, because that's what really sticks out and makes like that, makes that tree look like it's, almost on fire. So I hope that helped give you some ideas. I don't want to kind of put any pricing or anything together or customize anything yet, because it's really going to be personal preference. If you had a chance to have a look at or try it before you buy it light, which is basically, this light that you can buy at a discount, and then you can just hold the terminals to like a 9-volt battery and then actually walk around and light some of those areas that I talked about. That's a great way to start, so you can kind of see what's going to look good. With the path lights, just keep in mind that they're going to give you light on the ground for about 12 to 15 feet. The darker the area, the more you're going to notice that light kind of spreading out. And then I would really just focus on a lot of the architectural features and some of the big, beautiful trees that you have on the property. So if you have an idea of roughly how many lights you're looking at based on what I just talked about and based upon what you're thinking, then I can start to customize things and we can kind of work from there. If you have any other questions, email me, call me. I'd love to chat further. It's a beautiful home. I think you could do some really, really nice things here. All right. Thanks, Richard.
Thanks again for watching, guys, as we show you how to easily install low voltage landscape lighting. So there's various different lights you can look at. The most popular is easily the uplight, accent light, or bullet light, often used to highlight different trees and features in your yard. Another very popular light is a wash light, often used to highlight the fronts of homes and beautiful stonework. Path and garden lighting is also very popular to use to light walkways and garden areas and plant material down below, as well as hardscape lighting, which is used in different kinds of hardscapes as well as on fences and decks, and can also create some cool effects. And a great way to see what looks good is just to take a flashlight or any kind of light around at night, shine it on a few of those features, and really see what looks good and where you're going to position those lights. I strongly recommend looking at LED energy efficient bulbs for all of your landscape lighting. It saves on power and it lasts a long, long time. You see they only use 40 watts, 260 lumens, is very bright, and they still have that warm white look that you would find in an incandescent fixture. And if you have an existing landscape lighting system that is incandescent, it's very easy to retrofit with LED bulbs, again, just to save power and not have to be changing bulbs all the time. What we often recommend is go and find really good quality outdoor rated LED bulbs, and then go find really good incandescent fixtures and just marry the two together and retrofit your incandescent fixtures with really good quality LED bulbs, and it'll help bring the cost down rather than going and buying a fully integrated LED fixture, which looks good and lasts a long time, but they do cost a lot more than doing this and just finding a really good fixture and retrofitting it with a really good bulb. So once you know where you're going to put your lights and you have your lights picked out, the next step is to start placing your lights. So we've determined where they're going to go. Start by digging just a small hole and just preliminarily placing your lights. I recommend using a rubber mallet so that you can really pound those ground stakes in and give them some good stability. Screw your light in afterwards so you can really get it in there. Make sure everything's level, and then from there you start laying out your wire once you got all your lights in place, and be sure to leave extra wire at every fixture just to give yourself some wiggle room. Connecting the lights is quite simple. When you make your splice in your wire, you'll have a wire going in and a wire going out for each connection, as well as your fixture wire, and at every light you're going to have two of those connections. I recommend a good waterproof connection, either a gel-filled snap lock connector or these gel-filled DBRY connectors that come in two parts, that you have a moret that screws on and keeps the wires tight, and then the wire fills into a gel-filled tube that keeps the water out. So just be sure to make sure you're getting good waterproof connections that keep the wires free of the elements as well as keep them from pulling apart. The next step is selecting your transformer. It's very easy to do if you Look on any bulb that you purchase, it should give you the wattage, but if you have a 4.5 watt bulb and you have 10 of those, that's going to give you 45 watts, which means you want to select a transformer that's just slightly bigger than that. And I recommend trying to find a transformer that has a photocell as well as a timer built into it for easy use. Very easy to wire in your transformer. Depending on the transformer you have, it's generally going to have a common tap and a 12-volt tap. You just put one wire into each tap, screw them down tight, mount your transformer close to your GFCI receptacle so that you can get power, plug it in, turn it on, and go and make sure all your lights work before you start burying any wire. So once you've checked all your lights and everything works, you can start burying them. One thing I would recommend is looking at the Weon outdoor Wi-Fi switch. Is a great tool if you want to make your landscape lighting system totally smart and Wi-Fi operated. To bury the wires, very easy with a flat-ended shovel, creating a trench that's 6 to 8 inches deep, spreading the turf open and pushing that wire down and stomping it down within no time at all. It looks like you haven't even been there. And in the mulch, it's just a matter of pulling it back and creating a path to lay down that wire, stapling it down and burying everything over that. So hopefully that helped. And if you have any questions, by all means, you can always reach out to us and follow us on Facebook and YouTube.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching that video. I hope you guys got some great ideas for your own do-it-yourself landscape lighting projects. If you want your own free consultation video, like I said before, email me your pictures at cal@lightingdoctor.ca or go and visit us at lightingdoctor.ca, and be sure to check out our Try It Before You Buy It light. Again, where you get one premium grade fixture and a King Innovation Instalight battery operated demo kit that you can go and test those lights out on your property before you make any big purchases. So I hope to see you guys again soon. And again, go get your free consultations by emailing your pictures or visit us at lightingdoctor.ca. Thanks so much for watching.